I've come to chew bubblegum and review They Live. But I'm all out of bubblegum. So, this movie stars Roddy Piper, the Canadian wrestler, and also Keith David from John Carpenter's The Thing. This was directed by John Carpenter. This movie is a sci-fi action adventure slash horror-ish. You can debate if this is horror or not. It's John Carpenter, but I don't know. It's got aliens, but is it horror? I don't know. You debate in the comments below. Is it horror? I'm on the side of saying that this is kind of like The Hidden, and I consider it sci-fi action adventure with some comedy, because this movie is illogical. It's silly as hell. You got that line where he comes into the bank and he's like,
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Where did that line come from? Was that in the script? I didn't do a lot of research behind the scenes. I didn't look at any trivia. Was that in the script? Because that just seems like ad-libbing in the moment. It's just like, I've come to chew bubblegum and kick ass, but I'm all out of bubblegum. Like, I don't know. And if you didn't know that this was a silly movie, before that, when you got to that point, you're like, okay, I know what I'm in for now. It's just illogical. It's just funny and nonsense. Just like, who would go from 0 to 100 like that? The guy puts on glasses and almost instantly is just gung-ho shooting everybody. No questions asked. Just shoot now, ask questions later. It's just insane. So I don't need to go into a plot synopsis. I think you know what this movie's about. Sunglasses that reveal that a lot of people around us are aliens and they're in charge, controlling us. Obey. Be obedient. Reproduce. Get married. Stuff like that. So, yeah, this movie is definitely got commentary, social commentary, and so that's what this movie's all about. It's all about the message, right? And having fun. So the positives for this movie, I will say, is Roddy Piper's dialogue. I quoted one of the lines already, but he's got a lot of one-liners in this movie. He's got a lot of kind of cringy dialogue. Like, his performance isn't that great, but he's still the star of the show. Him and Keith David, or is it David Keith? It's Keith David. Isn't there another actor named David Keith? Right. So I'm just like mixing it up in my head. Keith David from The Thing, just them together in this movie, kicking ass in the second half. That's the best part. Just in that fight scene in the alleyway, that like 5-minute fight scene. Some people might think that drags on too long, but I eat up every second of it. I love that fight scene. That's like probably the best scene in the movie. That in the bank scene with the chew bubblegum kick-ass thing. And so, yeah, I like Keith David's character Frank, and I like his performance, and just a lot of corny dialogue in the film was really helping me get through it. Because if I'm being honest, I don't love this movie like everybody. I like it. It's fine. I just don't love it. It's just, there's enough goofiness in the movie to keep me watching. I'll say that. So I just wish there was a bit more here. But anyways, I like the sunglasses gimmick. I just think that's interesting. I don't know how it works. They don't ever really go into it. Like, they just show where they're being made at like this church. That's like a front for this organization, and what are they doing to the glasses to make it work? I don't know, but I like the idea. I think it's pretty cool. I wonder what they would do today if they remade this movie. Would it just be contacts? Well, they do put contacts in this movie at one point, so I don't know what today's version would be. VR? I don't know. This movie could be remade, but then everybody would just shit on it because it's a remake. So, but yeah, I also like the end, like the end, like the last like 15, 20 seconds, that whole section there, without spoiling it here in case you haven't seen the movie. I like the ending. That made me laugh. So I like that. And I like the commentary of the film. I like that this movie has a message. It's basically about how the system is rigged. He finds out that there's these aliens in charge. All these rich people are, for the most part, all aliens. The cops are aliens, and they're just mind controlling us and just keeping us down. We can't rise up and succeed. I mean, that's how I took the film. If there's another way to interpret this film, let me know. But I took it as kind of like classism, like rich versus the poor. The rich are aliens, and the poor people are stuck being poor. They can't make it. The system's rigged. and that pisses off our main character, Roddy Piper, whatever his character's name is, I forget. But, you know, because he, at the beginning of this movie, he's like a patriot. He's like, I believe in the American dream. I think if I work hard enough, I can succeed. And then when he puts the glasses on and he sees that all these aliens are in charge and there's nothing that he could ever do to actually make it to the top unless he sold his soul like the bum does, played by, what's his name, Buck Flower, who plays a bum in 90% of his movies, and he's in a lot of John Carpenter movies too. I think he was in The Fog. I mean, he did a shit ton in the 80s. But, you know, he finds out, it's like, unless I sell my soul or I'm an alien, I can't make it, so he just gets pissed off. So that's like his character arc. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill everybody. You know, there is no American dream. But yeah, it's a silly movie, and you can't take it seriously. And it's got Meg Foster. And I would believe she's an alien in real life just by looking at her eyes. Her eyes, the color of them, her stare, like, there's something weird about her eyes. I can't describe it. So, the negatives for this movie. I don't really like the music, the score from John Carpenter in this movie. I just feel it's a bit too Western. It feels like something that belongs in a Western movie, and it's just too, like, it's played out too much in the movie. It's relentless. It just keeps playing, like the music just keeps going and going, even when nothing's happening, and it just keeps going and going. It's just like, is the music ever going to shut off at some point? I don't know. It just kind of bugged me a bit. So I wasn't a fan of the score overall, and I wish, this is just me, I don't know if anyone else agrees, I wish that Kurt Russell was in this movie, because he did all kinds of Carpenter films before this, with Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, and I look at this movie and I imagine him in the main role here, and I think that it could have been better. Like, he's a better actor, and I think he could have delivered those lines maybe better, and it could have been a better movie. But that's just my opinion. So, anybody else? I just wish Kurt Russell was the lead. I also don't like the alien look. I think, I don't know, like, maybe it's just they chose to go that route with the look because it kind of goes with the tone of the movie, because it's so silly and just cheesy, and the look is very silly also, but it just looks so fake. It just looks like they're wearing masks. It doesn't even look like a real alien face. It almost looks like they're just skinless, and I don't know, it looks weird. I don't like the look of the aliens in this movie, like, at all. And the action sequences in the movie, like, this is, to me, a sci-fi action movie, adventure film, and the action stuff I wasn't impressed with. You get a couple of scenes of gunfire, you know, at the bank, and then when they go to the TV station later on, and none of it was all that fun or entertaining, nothing thrilling about it. I was just, like, it's one of those action movies where when they get shot, there's no blood. Like, and there's, like, no bullet holes hitting the walls behind them either in a lot of the shots. So that was weird. Like, they're firing machine guns. They're shooting, like, hundreds of bullets, and there's nothing hitting the wall behind them. So they're like landing every shot, and they're just getting stuck in their body, and they're not going all the way through. It's just nitpicky shit, but I didn't like the action sequences in the film. It felt like it was just mediocre action stuff. It could have been way more entertaining, a little bit more bloody. I mean, I would expect there to be blood packs going off when they get shot, but there was, like, no blood at all. And the ending, the writing, I just felt like it was a bit lazy. I mean, come on. Like, the way they take out this alien invasion, it's just so quick. It feels so abrupt. It's just kind of a lackluster ending to me. And I feel like this movie needs a sequel or a prequel. I want to see more of the aliens and, like, their, you know, just more, explore the aliens more. Let's focus on them instead of the protagonists. Like, let's get a sequel where we focus on them and their home turf. Like, where do they come from? Like, we don't explore that enough in this movie. We see, like, this little room where it shoots them into the galaxy and they go back home for vacation, I guess, or something. I want to see what's going on over there. I want to see more of the alien stuff in the film, and we don't get a whole lot of it. So, final thoughts. I don't hate the movie. I'm not overly impressed by it. I'm not overly entertained by it. It's fine. And, you know, the pacing's good. I wasn't really bored watching it. Maybe the beginning can drag a little for some. I don't know. It's just, I like Roddy Piper. I like his one-liners in the dialogue from him, despite how cringy some of it might be. I like Keith David. I like the fight scene between them. The fight choreography there was entertaining, but I wasn't overly entertained by the movie, so I can't give it a high recommendation, but it's still a decent John Carpenter film to check out. So if you're a fan of the director and for some reason you haven't seen this one, it's not a terrible one by him by any means, but it's not a great one to me. So when it comes to They Live, I recommend that maybe you just stream this, borrow it from a friend, or rent it at Redbox. Time for a spoiler discussion. I'm not sure if I have very much else to say. I feel like I've said everything. There's not really a whole lot to spoil. It's just a lot of like running away from the aliens. It's like they're being chased, because once he gets the sunglasses and they know who he is, like they know that he knows who they are, it's just a chase movie, really. But yeah, you got Buck Flower, he's a hobo yet again, and these TV hackers are, they're hacking the TVs and they're sending their message out. There's aliens out there. They're trying to get their message out there, but the aliens are stopping them. And the church right across the street, conveniently from Roddy Piper, is where they're hanging out at, and they got the glasses in there. He finds the glasses. He hides them in the dumpster, the worst place to hide them. Like, they're going to get picked up by the garbage people any day now. And we got this police ambush, and he somehow escapes them. And then, he puts the glasses on, and it says, obey, marry, all that stuff. But it's weird because, like, he sees that, but then he sees an alien pick up the magazines, and the alien's reading. So it's like, does the alien not see what I don't get it. Like, how fun would that be reading that shit if it just said, like, one word on every page? Obey. So the aliens are reading what we're seeing, or do they see what they see when they have the glasses on? It's just weird. So anyways, and then they have like these watch things, and they can just like hit a button and they just teleport. Can they control where they teleport? Does it go to a different place each time? Is it random? I don't know. And so the first alien in the movie was in Berserker. I talked about that movie on my 1987 ranking, and that's a terrible movie, but it also has George Buckflower in it, so I thought that was a weird coincidence, seeing both of these actors in the same movie in almost the same year, the next year. So, I just recognized him, and then when he puts on the glasses and he realizes that the system's rigged, he never had a fighting chance to make it, he just says, fuck it, grabs a machine gun, or shotgun, or whatever. I think it was machine gun, right? He goes into the bank, and he says that line, and I think it would have been funnier if he said it kind of backwards. If he just kind of had like a dyslexic moment where he was like, I've come to kick bubblegum and chew ass, and I'm all out of ass. Like, that would have been funnier. Then he falls down a hill and somehow survives this. Like, with Meg Foster, she pushes him out the window. He lands like on his shoulder. Like, he would have been fucked up, but he seems to be fine. But I do like the realism of the fight scene later on, like the effects afterwards. Like, they're actually like bruised and their eyes are swelling. Like, that stuff was good. And you can see like blood on their knuckles. Like, finally, an action movie that pays attention to that stuff. Because usually they get their asses handed to them, and then later on, there's no signs of any of that. Like, nothing ever happened. It's like bullshit. Their knuckles would be swollen and bleeding. Like, have you ever punched somebody again and again and again? It's like, punch a brick wall once, see what happens. It's bloody. You never see those effects in these films, but this one does. Okay, so he gets the sunglasses things, like the sunglasses, out of the dumpster, and that dumpster or it's like the garbage truck, not the dumpster. So, but they got it from the dumpster, and all this trash in that trash car, truck, whatever, has the cleanest trash I've ever seen. It's just scraps of paper and like clean cardboard cutout, like just cardboard pieces. So it's like Roddy Piper refused to go into a more realistic garbage truck. He's like, no, this is like a recycling garbage truck. It's gonna have just paper that's shredded up and just cardboard that has no stains. Like, there's nothing disgusting in that garbage truck. It was so clean. But what's not clean is L.A. in this movie. They make L.A. look shitty. Is that just what L.A. looked like in the 80s? The alleyways, just litter everywhere. You can't walk 2 steps without stepping on some piece of trash. It's ridiculous. And then we get the 5-minute brawl, which South Park parodied in one of their episodes back in like 2000, 2001, with these 2 handicapped kids beating the shit out of each other. So every time I watch this scene, I think of South Park now. Put on the hat, Timmy. So, and then I already talked about the look of the aliens and just how not good they look. I don't like that. And they recruit George Buck Flower for some reason. I don't know. He just sells his soul. So he's like, okay, I'll join you. Okay, here's your watch. You get to join. Here's a tux. I don't know. And so there's no blood or bullet holes on the wall when they're all getting shot up. Do these aliens bleed the way we bleed? I don't know. If it bleeds, we can kill it. So then Frank, he gets shot by Foster. Like I said about the ending of this movie, it's so quick. It's like, boom. Keith David, he's dead, off camera. Boom, Meg Foster, she gets shot by Roddy Piper. Boom, Roddy Piper, he just shoots the satellite once or twice. The end. Like, he just destroyed their whole plan in 1 second. Because all he had to do was shoot the satellite, and that just demolished their plans that quickly. Like, they didn't have multiple satellites in multiple cities. They have one satellite in LA that controls everything. Really? Come on. Like, what if something happened to the building? God forbid, like, it's LA. What if there was an earthquake and that building collapsed? The satellite goes with it. Boom, everything's exposed. Or lightning strikes the satellite dish, makes it malfunction. It doesn't work anymore. Boom, exposed. Something could happen. Anything could happen. You know what I mean? Like, what if a terrorist just randomly went to that building specifically because they hate the news broadcast and they blew up the building? Crumbles down. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong. You should have a fail-safe. You should have a plan B, C, D, E, all the way to Z. You should have satellites everywhere, not just one. That just seemed a bit ridiculous. But this whole movie is. So, it's just so illogical. You got, like, gunfire and people walking in the background. Like, nothing's happening. Nothing to see here. And so, yeah, and then you got, like, the alien fucking the human. And she sees that it's an alien. I like that moment. So it's like the aliens are breeding with the humans. So is there like half alien babies out there? Wouldn't that be interesting to see? If they're like, what's a half alien, half human look like? If they had a kid and you put the sunglasses on, would it be half weird face, Two-Face? I don't know. That could be explored. We need a sequel. That's what I'm saying. We need more exploration of these aliens, how they work, where they came from exactly. What exactly are their plans besides taking over and being, I don't know. Like, I feel like we need a sequel or something. So, but that's really it. Kind of a lame ending if you ask me, but still a fun movie, entertaining enough to watch at least once. I don't plan on revisiting it again anytime soon. This is maybe like a once every few years or so. This isn't like an annual watch because, like I said, it's just not that entertaining to me. Like, it's entertaining, but it's not that entertaining. Like I said, I like it. I don't love it. There's a lot of people who love this movie. It's got a high rating on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm more just like, meh. Like, it's like a 3 out of 5 for me, meaning I like it. It's above average, but I don't love it. So that's just my personal opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, remember, it's just an opinion. You don't need to get butthurt about it.